To Roughview, Dublin 24. This is where it all happened. This is where it all was bred, where I was bred, born and raised, and learned the trade over here. So this is my family home, my mom's house. I lived here since about 2009, 2010, and this is where all the memories have happened, and I was really, really built. I built my, my character, personality, and bravery, as you could say, because obviously as a boxer you need to be brave and that. So yeah, we just go to my room now just to show you know where the music happened. I used if you didn't know, I'm a musician and I've been making music in my bedroom since I was about 19, 18 years of age. And for a part of my life, that was what I thought I was gonna be and what I was really pursuing. So like I went from being a bassist, a drummer, to being my own recording artist, like my own personal recording artist, and releasing my own music and having concerts and stuff like that. And to now, I'm now a music manager, so I'm managing artists and taking them to the next level myself. So this is my room where I grew up, where I had most of the recorded most of my songs. I started recording myself. I bought my own first studio equipment when I was about 18. I started recording myself. I mixed and mastered my own first two EPs, I think, and a lot of my songs and stuff like that. And I mixed them in here. My guitar is here. I don't have my bass here, so my bass is what I really. That's what was my main instrument, the bass guitar. It's not here right now, but that's one of my babies. I call her my baby. Her name is Anna. So yeah, we'll go downstairs next. I need you next to me, 'cause that's how it's meant to be. And as I keep on balling,
Able to fit?
this is where I used to do pull-ups and stuff during COVID, during lockdown and stuff. There's a pet rabbit midnight over there. He lives outside since my mom doesn't want him inside the house, so this is his jungle, as you can see. Hopefully he doesn't run away now. So, but I used to come out here and do workouts here during lockdown, pull-ups, and I had a punching bag up here when I just started boxing as well. So I used to do a lot of workouts out here, and this is the only place I could go to do because everything else was closed. So yeah, this is it.
So what's the rabbit's name? Eh?
Midnight.
Midnight. Midnight's fast, bro.
He's gone.
He's not in your room. He said I'm not part of this.
He's gone, man. He's a bit camera shy now, so. Yeah, this is where I used to, between the ages of I think 9 and 12, I was only allowed to play on this green. So we used to play football over here. We used to play chasing, and I wasn't allowed off the road just because my mum was always proper paranoid of stuff happening to us ever since we moved to Calais. She heard all the stories and didn't want us to take part in none of that. So yeah, a lot of memories, football, with the neighbors and the friends made over here anyways. So my house is over there, and just over there is where the boxing club was. I was always interested in boxing. I always wanted to sorry Jay.
He's your
my
champ.
guy, this is my guy, this is my guy over
He's your
here.
champ right here.
It's my guy over
Number
here.
one.
It's my guy Joel from early. We just booked him here. This is Joe XX Vinci, Dublin 24 rapper. You already know. I always had an interest in boxing and fighting from young. I had some of my first few street fights in this very area. When I was younger, now back in the day, it was a bit hectic around here. A lot of antisocial behaviour going up around here, and sometimes for us to be able to get from school to home and home to school, it had to involve either running or fighting to come home. Literally, we used to have to fight, like, especially like some of the traveler lads in the area. They used to just try and cause trouble, and sometimes we'd run. But there was just one day that I was just kind of like, no, I'm tired of running, and then started fighting back, and that's when they kind of, you know, got where I kind of got more respect from them, and since then, you know, a lot of them I've become friends with them and stuff like that. But I was never allowed to join a boxing club, which is what I always wanted, because my mum thought it was dangerous. You know, I started fighting more and stuff like that because I'd already got suspended a few times from school for fighting, and she thought that would encourage me to fight more, you know. But God's timing is the best time, isn't it? So we just head over to the club now. Basketball has been a big part of my life growing up as well. We used to always hop the fence over here to play basketball in the courts over here, in the school over here. Lots of summer evenings, summer mornings spent over here training, playing one-on-one, playing team matches over here, and a lot of memories made over here as well. So yeah, this is a big part of my life. We used to have to scale these walls over here, jump over the fence, and hopefully not get any of our clothes stuck in the spikes, you know. Every time I got caught doing that, my mom screamed the head off me. When I was younger, I used to get a few slaps, but then once I get bigger, you know, it was hard for her to be able to do that, you know. So yeah, this is where it all began over here. Westside Boxing Club. It's closed now, but my first memories of boxing in here, started boxing in here 2019. I was taken in by Frank Stacey. We're probably going to meet Frank in a few minutes and have a chat with him. But yeah, this is where it all started. I started my first training session in here in October 2019, and my very first training session, I was boxing on the punch bags, and I hit one of the punch bags and it broke, and like everyone just turned around and looked at me, and I was shitting it because I thought like I was going to be in trouble for breaking it and I had to pay for it. But then Frank just comes over like, yeah, that'd be 200 quid, and I was like, shit. But then he's like, I'm only messing with you, some power you have in them hands. So like, I thought what I thought was going to be a bad thing I'd be in trouble for, he was really, really impressed, and from then on he saw my work ethic and, you know, saw that I had potential. So he really, really, like, there's a time where we went out for food and really asked me what do I want out of boxing, and that's when he started proper putting time into me and focusing on me and training and stuff like that. So this was where I grew a love for the sport of boxing, because before I started boxing I never used to watch boxing. I watched the odd Anthony Joshua fight here and there, you know, but this is where I really grew my love for boxing, you know. So this is like a second home to me, you know. It's literally just, my house is just over there, across the road over there, and then 30 seconds I'd be able to make it to training in time, but somehow I was always late, you know.
So how old were you when you came in here for the first time and you smashed
I
that?
was 21 years old.
Oh, well, that's described as old in the world of boxing, eh?
Exactly, because most of the people that I would have been boxing or coming up against, they'd been boxing since they're like 6-7 years of age, you know. So with me it was raw ability and hunger that really led me to rise up the ranks in boxing, you know. Considering the short amount of time I had in boxing, I was always a natural street fighter at heart, you know. So it was just about tidying up the tools that I already had and becoming more technical and skilled. I already had the ferocity, I had the power, I had all of that, like, you know,
The talentness. You had the talentness.
the will, exactly, and the will to, you know, always be better. Every spar I had, every training session I had, I wanted to always improve on. So my hunger and my thirst for being better and being more successful in the sport, you know, is what led me to, you know, improving and to where I am today, you know.
So why are they closed down?
They're closed down just because it's just, there's been a few internal problems in the club, you know, since about July last year, between some of the members of the board and the committee, and for that reason the club has been closed, you know. It's unfortunate now because it's like a second home to me, and it's something that I would love for it to be still open, because it really helped a lot of the kids in the area, and you know, a lot of people who would have been spending nights on the roads, on the streets, doing stupid stuff, they come in here for a boxing session, or in the evenings, or even in the mornings, because Frank Stakes is always here in the mornings as well. If anyone wanted to train, they were able to come in here and train, you know. And it was a great part from the community. All people of all different backgrounds, races, and stuff like that, they'd all come here and make friends and get fit and get disciplined as well. Discipline is one thing that you really gain in boxing, you know. It's not just coming in to punch someone up, but you learn, you know, proper technique, you learn discipline, you learn hard work as well, which is a big factor when it comes to training kids, you know, well, you know, and bringing them up well, and giving them, teaching them respect, and things like that. So hopefully, you know, all the issues can be sorted and it can be resolved, and the club can be back open, and a lot more kids can be up here, you know, spending time up here, and you know, doing good things instead of just hanging around on the streets and stuff like that, which is what a lot of kids are. Even some kids that I knew, like, you know, boxing in here and training with them and stuff like that, as soon as the club was closed, you know, it was like this was their safe haven, that they can come in and, you know, get away from the streets or get away from problems at home. And now that that's closed, the nearest clubs are a good few minutes away, where like you'd have to get a bus or a car ride up to, and some people don't have that. You know, some people don't have the access to the funds to be able to take the bus all the time, or they don't have people to be able to drop them up into training and stuff like that. So if it could be, you know, opened back up again and the issues resolved, then that would be great for the community, you know. I'm sorry, Joel, I have to stick over your poster.
A new dawn.
This fella was the fella we just saw over there that tapped me up over there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so he's a
What is he, a singer?
he's a local rapper.
How many artists are you managing at the moment?
I'm managing one artist at the moment, Baby Sicko. He's my talent, he's my main talent at the moment. We just recently played the Tree Arena back in October. He opened up for Ashake when he came to Dublin. So it was a great performance. It was a great fight as well. A lot of my first fights as well in my Kulim. But yeah, like just being over there and being there, seeing all the stuff that was happening there. It's really, really hard to kind of stay away from all the stuff that was happening, you know, growing up, all the, you know, drugs, and seeing lads pull up with loads of wads of cash and chains and stuff like that, and, you know, looking apart and trying to convince you to join them. If you want what they have, then come and work with them and stuff like that, or with the fraud lads, you know. So hard to grow up around here and have your head screwed on, but thankfully, you know, the help of God and my parents and stuff like that, I was able to keep the head screwed on and stay in school and do positive things in my life, you know. My mom has always kind of like spoken to me about stuff like that don't go and do what these lads are doing. You know, thankfully I had a mum that was very, very caring and very, very involved in our life, and that really, really guided us as we were growing up and put the fear of God into us as well. So there'd be like a level that we'd not pass, fight a lot. Fight for myself, fight for my siblings. I had two little brothers growing up, so anytime they were in trouble, they'd call me, and big brother would come to the rescue. I also used to hate bullies as well, so I'd fight people.
So now you like me?
No,
I'm playing.
I still hate bullies, but like I used to fight for people who weren't able to fight for themselves. You know, like people who are proper like short and scrawny, and they get picked on by like other lads. I used to stand up for them, and I'd be in a lot of fights because of that. With sponsorship, just because there's so many costs associated with being a professional athlete. If you're not sponsored, like if you're not being taken care of by like a sports club, which most athletes are part of, you know, like your football teams, your basketball teams, they'd have a lot of their costs covered by the team. But as a boxer, you're kind of on your own, whereas you're representing yourself, especially as a boxer. You're not representing a specific gym or club or anything like that. You're doing everything by yourself, so all the costs come on you yourself, you know, from transport to, you know, your recovery, your massages, your physio, you know, taking care of yourself, to training costs, to fight costs when you have to fly people in to fight you, or you have to fly to get some train sessions in or sparring in. All of that cost comes on top of you yourself, and
Individual.
from someone, for someone who's coming from like not a great background, or not minted or not rich, it's very, very draining, and it can be very, very hard for you to pursue what you're trying to pursue, you know. So it can be very discouraging when you have to take loans out or you have to borrow money here and there. So when companies come on board to sponsor, they're not just sponsoring an athlete for money, or they're not just giving money, but they're also, you know, helping to build dreams that are being pursued for someone that's young, that's hungry to do something well with their life, you know. Coming from a place like this, it's very, very hard to get out and be different from what's around you, you know. So when you have these opportunities to do something good and you have support behind you, it makes it a lot easier. And when you have companies like yourself coming on board to help with costs and cover and stuff like that, it really, really helps us to stay focused on what we're trying to do, which is trying to train and trying to perform. So if any companies are ever thinking of sponsoring an athlete, definitely do, because you're like really, really making a difference and changing lives, you know.
In the morning I wake up, I pray. I dey walk, yeah, I know they complain. And that blessings pouring my way. I want time, you want keep it moving. I know they rush, I'ma take. Wavy from the 2-4.
Stayed from the start, so the potential was there. I think people forget his Daniel was relatively new to the game, came very late. Doing what he's done in the short space of time that he's done, it's a remarkable achievement. To see him turned on professional, to be part of that journey, or have some part of that journey, is an honor. It's going to be a massive inspiration. It's all about staying positive and have that positive outlook, and like, especially if looking around the States.
Don't look, they don't come here. Some of us are crazy enough that we don't mind suffering.
But if you do like suffering, we'll take it.